G'day folks, and welcome to On the Road with John. Regular viewers will realise I'm not John, and I thought it'd be a good idea if we had a sit-down interview with him and find out a little bit about him and how his channel came about. So I asked around and come up with these handful of questions for him.
Bloody amazing.
Can you tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into four-wheel driving and camping?
Well, I got into camping because a friend of mine, we used to go in the 1980s in the public holidays, we used to go camping a lot down south to the southwest, looking down there. I'd not been down there, so it was all something new to me, and that got me into the camping side of things. The four-wheel drive side of things was more of from the SES when I was in that. We used to go out to bushfires and things like that to deliver meals to the firefighters, or chainsawing or whatever, and quite often I do a lot of four-wheel driving with that side of things, and that kind of got me going with four-wheel drive. And then years later I eventually got my own four-wheel drive. I did a little bit of four-wheel driving, but I'm pretty rusty now compared to, because I mean, well, now it's been 25 years or something since the SES, so I don't do a lot of four-wheel driving now. What I do is pretty tame stuff, mostly because if I break it I've got to pay for it to fix it.
What inspired you to create YouTube content on four-wheel driving and camping?
Well, it really all started back probably about 2012, when I was, well, probably about 2011, when I was looking at going overseas for the first time on holidays, and I wanted to find out what would be worth going to look at. And I did some Googling around, or I don't know if it was Google back then, but searching around trying to find information, and some YouTube channels came up, and up until then I never really knew or heard of YouTube. And there was a little bit of stuff there that was useful to help me plan out what I would want to see while I travelled around Europe. And then about 2 or 3 years later, I went on holidays to the UK, and I did the same thing again, searched again to try and find what was worth going to look at. And I found some really good channels, from Scotland. And I thought, I wonder if there's anything like this for around Perth here. And so I had a bit of a search around, and I never really found anything, not any structured Perth-related videos. It was just sort of random people putting a 2-minute or 3-minute video up, or just random stuff. It wasn't really sort of structured. And I thought, gee, somebody should do something like that for around Perth, Didn't really think anything much more of it. And then a few years later, my middle child got cancer, and I felt guilty about that because my dad died at a young age from cancer, and I always thought as I got to 49 that I might get it as well. So when I got 49 and over, never had nothing, and I thought, oh, you beaut, no worries, it skipped me, And then when she got cancer, I thought, well, maybe it skipped me and went to her. And although they all say there's no connection between the two different types of cancers, it's cancer. Who knows how that works, And I didn't really deal with it very well, and I was a bit aggro. And one day at work, a bloke rang me up to tell me what my next day's work was going to be. And I was finishing at midnight, he wanted me to start at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to Wave Rock. And I went off my tree, there's no fatigue management in that. And then I blew up at him and hung up on him. And I realised when I hung up, I thought that was stupid, because it's not his fault, he's just reading what's on the screen. Some other person had punched that information in there. And so when he rang me back, I apologised to him and said, look, sorry, it wasn't, I know it's not your fault, blah, blah, blah. And he was one of the few persons that actually knew my circumstances. And so he said, look, it's all right, no worries, I understand, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, I've got to get out of being this sort of a person, it's not me, you know. And I thought back to those YouTube videos, and I thought that maybe I should do that. Maybe that will get me out of it, because I've always liked making videos. Used to have my own video business, used to do weddings and a bit of corporate work and that sort of thing, and I liked doing all that sort of thing. So I thought maybe that might get me back out of it again. And I wrote my youngest daughter in to be my camera person, and the first couple of videos we did was on Perth and Fremantle, which is, you can see that in my video list. And we actually, the Fremantle one, we were out front of the roundhouse trying to do a video, trying to do a shot there. And I think from memory it took us 28 times to get it right, because either I screwed it up, somebody walked around the corner and looked at us and that threw me off, or one time a courier parked right behind me and then he's sort of looking at the camera going, oh, and then he sort of moved off. So 28 times, after the 28 times, that's it, I had enough, you know, that'll do. And I think I pieced a couple of different bits and pieces together to try and make it work. But yeah, so I got her involved with it, and then when Belinda got over the cancer and everything, she came along as well, and she's my continuity person. She makes sure that things match and fit in with each, from one scene to another. She watches the script to make sure that I say something that resembles whatever I've written, because I script everything out. Because I can't work off the top of my head, I've got to have it all formatted. And so she reads the script, and then when I say something, she looks at it to make sure that whatever I said, it kind of resembles what I've written down. And it's great having them working with me on the videos, that we're working together on it. It's been, yeah, good, and that's how I got in it.
Nice. How long have you been creating YouTube content?
Well, my first videos would have been my European vacation trip, and that was in 2012. So I guess since 2012, I've been putting videos on YouTube. There was that one, and then there was also a few years later the UK trip that was went on there. The format that I currently have, where I'm standing in front of the camera and talking about places and history and all that sort of thing, the format that I'm using now, I've been doing that since probably about 2015, because I can, those videos, when I started that, the idea was I could use these videos on my tour bus when I'm doing tours, because we've got set places we go to, and sometimes we drive past places that we can't go into. So I figured if I do a video on that, as I'm driving down the road, I can put 5 or 10 minute video on which talks about all that sort of thing, so they get to see something that they're not actually going in to see, but that might still be of interest and fits in with the whole sort of tour and everything. And that worked pretty well. I got a lot of good reports back from passengers that loved the videos and thought it was a great idea. But anyway, to answer the question, I think 2012, my first videos, and then this structured format started in 2015.
What's your favourite four-wheel drive track and camping spot in Australia?
Well, I don't really have a four-wheel drive track, but campsites, I like Pumphrey's Bridge, which is just west, I think, of Pingelly. That's a good campsite. It's on the edge of the river. I think it's the Collie River or something. And Allendale campsite, Allendale something, I think. It's northeast of Dongra. That's a pretty neat spot, like that one. And there was a couple we did on the Wheatbelt Way trip we did a couple of years ago. Alec Button, or Alec Booton, something like that. And the other one was Bearing Booting or something, Rock. They were close together, but we spent a couple of days in each spot, and they were really good campsites. I didn't really expect that, being that we're at sort of back a whoop whoop sort of thing, you know. But I really enjoyed those sites, so probably they would be my favourite ones.
Can you share a particular memorable camping experience?
Yes, any camping is a good experience, but I did like the trip to Darwin, which is the first one I did with this caravan, because I've done many trips to Darwin with work, doing tours from Perth to Darwin, and then one year I took my wife with me and we did that tour, because I'd always tell her about the places I've been and what I'd done, sort of thing. Well, this time I got to actually show her all those things that I had done in the past. So for me, that was pretty good. The Gascoyne trip we did, pathways through the outback, that was pretty good because, well, most of my family was with me. It was the first time we did a rooftop tent, so that was a bit different. And just the places we saw when we went up there, did Mount Augustus, we did Kennedy Ranges and all that sort of thing. It was amazing. So that was very memorable. Even Wheatbelt Way was a good trip. I really enjoyed that one as well. And just recently, last year, we went to South Australia, so I guess that was a pretty memorable trip. And all those videos are available if you want to go back and have a look at the video list. Check them ones out.
How do you prepare for a four-wheel drive and camping trip?
How do I prepare? Well, have you ever seen the movie National Lampoon's Vacation with Chevy Chase? And he sits on the computer, he's got it all planned out.
I know you'll enjoy this. I've worked out the whole trip on the computer so we get the maximum amount of fun time at Wally World without missing any of the good stuff along the way.
That's me. I can do that 4, 5, 6 months in advance of trips, depending on how long the trip is, you know. But I like to sit and plan everything out, particularly with the videos. I've got to do research, work out what I'm going to be talking about, so I can make sure I get videos to match with what I want to talk about. I'm not very good at the talking off the top of my head sort of thing, and that's part of that pre-planning. And then as we get closer, if I'm taking the caravan about 4 days before I'm due to go, I'll start packing the caravan, getting it ready, because I don't like to leave everything at the last minute, or else it'll be something that I'll forget, because there's that much stuff I take with me with equipment and everything. So I'll start packing the van, and then I'll just, as it gets closer and I'm doing things, I'll think, oh, I've got to do that or that to make sure I've got this sort of thing. You know, I'm not so rushed. And then on the last day, it's just a matter of basically setting the car up with all the things that I couldn't put in there beforehand, because the car gets used all the time. So yeah, for me, planning can be months earlier.
What four-wheel drive do you currently own, and what modifications have you done to it?
Well, currently I've got a 3-litre V6 diesel Nissan Navara twin cab ute, and when I got it, I did a bit of research when I found this one to find out if it was a good one or not, and because it was built in Spain and it's got the French Peugeot engine in it, that and the combination of the 7-speed gearbox behind it apparently was a good combination, and a lot of people couldn't understand why they didn't stick with that, because of all the problems they had with various other engines out of the ones that they were building in Thailand, where this had very few problems with it. So I decided, because I wanted to tow, I decided it would be the right vehicle for me. Modifications, after dragging my ass to Darwin and back like this, because of the caravan on the back of it, I put a 2-inch lift on the back of it to compensate for the weight of the van, so that now when I got the van on, everything sits nice and level. I've got a set of homemade drawers in the back, which I actually built for a Pajero. When I got rid of the Pajero and got the Nissan, I just took that out and then put that in and made a few more compartments because the back of the ute is bigger than what the Navara, what the Pajero is. So and all that's dust proof. I can put all my camera gear in and no dust gets in there whatsoever. Some of these drawer systems you buy, from the shops and that, there's holes, everything, and dust just all gets into it. With my drawers, are completely dust free. I've got a 12-volt power system in there. It's not a big one because I don't use a lot of power in the back there. I run a fridge when I'm travelling, and a couple of lights. So I don't need a big electrical system. I do have a 1,000-watt inverter in there, but I only use that to charge camera batteries and things like that. So I don't have a high drain. So I've only got a small electrical system that works for me perfectly. What else have we got? I put a canopy on the back of it, and then a platform on top of that, so I can put some equipment up there. I put bars over the top of the cabin area, so the rooftop tent can sit over that. And I also got a bigger intercooler fitted, one that didn't leak because the old Nissan one leaked. So I've got a bigger one of that, and actually that video's online here as well in my YouTube thing. I've got that and a catch cam installed, and that's really all that I've done. I haven't really done a hell of a lot to it, and it's brilliant. When I tow my van, you barely know the van's there. I'm very happy with it.
What camping gear do you swear by?
I don't really swear by any particular camping gear. I mean, caravan, I suppose. I love being in the caravan. Look, years ago, people all sort of complained about the grey nomads and their caravans and all that sort of thing. That's not camping. Now look at all the people the young people are all out there buying caravans and discovering, hey, those old people actually knew what they were on about. They that's the way to go travelling because everyone's getting caravans now. So yeah, I swear by my caravan. I have a lot of King's equipment, and I don't have any problem with any of the King's gear I've got. It is what it is, and it's some of the stuff when you look at it, you can put like an expensive one there and the King's one there, and they look identical except that's got King's written on it. But that's 2 to 3 times the price, So I've got a lot of King's equipment. But I don't really swear by anything particular. It's about the price.
Can you recommend any essential tools for camping and four-wheel driving?
I think that's kind of like asking somebody how long's a piece of string. It really depends on what you're doing to what sort of equipment you need, because like stuff that I've got might not be necessary for that person, or for another person it might not be enough, because we're all doing different things. So really I can't really recommend anything particular because it depends on what people want to do.
How do you maintain and service your four-wheel drive?
Well, I do my own servicing, like oil changes and things like that. Anything major, I take it down the road to a mechanics down here. He does a pretty good job. I am wanting to get my front wheel bearings looked at, and I'm contemplating whether I give it a go myself. It's not something I've done before, but I'm a bit concerned with, because cars these days got sensors all over the place, and I'm worried if I do something I might damage something, so I've got to do a bit of research in it. If it was an old HT Holden, no worries, I could do that. No, but in modern cars, I'm a little bit reluctant to give it a go, but I've got to do some research on it and find out what's involved. I don't think there's anything major involved, but I'd like to give it a go. But yeah, servicing, I want to do all that sort of stuff myself. because at least you know where things are, and if something happens out back a whoop, you might have half a idea of how to get yourself moving again.
Can you share a recovery technique or tip for getting unstuck?
Get your phone, call a friend, or better yet, go travelling with a friend. No, I mean, look, I don't have a winch in my car because I don't do that sort of mountain goat kind of four-wheel driving, not into that sort of thing. But I do have a set of max tracks, and they reckon the max tracks can get you out of 60-70% of situations. And so far, touch wood, I have never gotten stuck anywhere. So I think they'll probably be the best thing you can have, is at least have a set of max tracks with you. To put a winch in the front of my car, I'd have to change the rebar and the bar and everything. It's just not practical, and in all the years so far, I would never have used it. So yeah, phone a friend or travel with a friend that's got a winch.
How do you handle emergency situations when four-wheel driving or camping?
I don't. I'm not the kind of person to be doing the first aid and all that sort of stuff. I'm the person that's calling up or radioing up to get assistance to you. Years ago, I was in the SES, and we were doing an exercise up at Seaburg, north of Perth. And to cut a real long story short, we had to evacuate somebody out by helicopter, and I had to call the helicopter in. And I think it was something like that. From the time I made the initial call, 10 or 12 minutes, to the time I had the helicopter there, because I could see the helicopter flying around in circles trying to find us, kilometres up the road. And I got on to them and I told them how to find us where we were. Actually got a pat on the back from the coppers about my communications ability for that. But yes, I'm not a first aider, and so when it comes to emergencies, not that I've ever come across anything, and hopefully, again, touch wood, I never do. But yeah, I'm not the person there for the first aid sort of thing.
What's the process for planning and creating content for your YouTube channel?
Well, first you've got to think about what it is, what's the topic that you want to actually video. If it's like something that's a road trip, where is it you want to go to? Then I'll research what is between where I am and where I'm going, so where to go to. And then in that is also that becomes the script writing as well, working out what shots I might need to get to make that script work, finding out who wants to go, when people are ready to go, and then shooting it as you go. And when I'm travelling, like I shoot the crap out of everything, because when I come back here to do the editing, then I can work out what videos or shots I need. It's easy to make shots up, make videos up when you've got more than what you need. But if you don't have the shots because you couldn't be bothered filming it, then it makes it very hard to make a video. So I probably throw away a third or so of shots that I've got that I don't actually use to make the videos. Then when I come home, there's the editing, which takes me, like I aim for a video to be nicely between 15 and 20 minutes. That's my sort of general area. To do that takes me about a week or 8-hour days to get to there, because I don't just slap it together, I edit it properly. If there's any music that's needed, sometimes it can take a while to find the right song. Maybe sound effects might need to go in there, or there's something that I'm trying to get 2 or 3 or 4 clips to work really nice together, and it might take a while of fiddle farting around to get it to actually gel properly. And then all of a sudden there's a week on, and then it gets uploaded for a Saturday morning release.
How do you engage with your audience and respond to comments?
I don't have a real lot of engagement with the audience because I don't have a huge audience, but I do get people that leave comments on my videos, and I will get back to them as soon as I've read that somebody has left a comment. I will get back to them straight away and either answer their question if they've asked something, or at least say, hey, look, thanks for watching. Because see, I think if they've taken the time to leave a comment, then I should take the time to respond to them and to acknowledge them, because leaving comments and thumbs up and that sort of thing really helps the channel out, because it makes YouTube think that there's something going on this video, so they then start to promote it more to other people, which gets more people in to watch it. So if somebody's taken that time, I want to get back to them as quick as I can to at least acknowledge that they've watched it. And I mean, I've had some people come back with comments, particularly on some of my reviews of products and that, in saying, you know, like, watching the video helped them make a decision on which way to go with products. And they've come back and said, yeah, I bought that product after what you said, and you know, they're really happy with that product, and all that is good feedback, you know. And I also had a couple of times, I was going around the caravan camping show one day, and this woman passed me and said, "Oh, you're that bloke from YouTube." And I didn't think much of it. I just thought, well, there's a lot of blokes on YouTube. Bit of a smart ass answer, I suppose. And she said, you know, we worked out that it was actually me, it wasn't somebody else that she'd been watching. She's been a follower for a little while, and they live down in Albany, you know, and she was, you know, surprised to see me walk past and wanted to say, you know, doing a good job with the videos, which of course makes me feel good too. And then there was another time I had a group of travel agents from Hong Kong who were touring the southwest. And it was a couple of days into the tour, and I was talking to the head bloke about something or other, and somehow it came out that I do YouTube videos. And one of the other blokes at the back goes, "Now I know why you look familiar," because when he saw me, he thought, I've seen that bloke before somewhere, but couldn't work out where. And turns out, when he found out he was coming to Perth, he did some YouTubing, searching to find out a little bit about the place, because he didn't know nothing of it. And he came across my videos, and he'd been watching a few of my videos. And so he thought, oh yeah, that's why you look familiar. So that was a pretty neat thing too. I've had a couple of times people go past and go, "Oh yeah, I know you," sort of thing, you know. So, yeah, that's pretty about as much interactions I really had with people.
Can you share any tips for creating high quality video content while four-wheel driving or camping?
Don't do what I do. Don't lose sight of the fact that you're out there to have fun camping or four-wheel driving. I tend to get lost in the process of making videos. You know, I come back and I'm kind of like knackered from working. You know, so I'd say the biggest thing is don't lose fact that you're out there to have some fun and do the camping, four-wheel driving, and the video comes second.
What's the most rewarding part of creating content about your four-wheel driving and camping?
Getting out and about. As far as the creating kind of thing, it's the fact that I've got, you know, a couple of my kids involved that I'm working with as well, and it's, for me, that's a neat thing to be able to do things with them. In fact, one of my youngest daughter, I'm actually working on another project away from this channel with her with the video, and I'm pretty impressed about being involved with that as well. In a kind of, it's got a bit of a backstory to it, but overall I'm pretty impressed with being involved with her doing that, so working together with them.
What's next for your channel, and can you share any upcoming projects or trips?
Don't have any projects at the moment, but I would like to do a lot more of the function kind of travel areas that I've been doing, like the Nangaran Military Museum and the Bassendean Rail Heritage, where it's not just me going in and filming all these, you know, walking around and filming places. I've gone in, I'm speaking to the people who actually run it or work there or whatever, and finding out the backstory and the history of these places, I'd like to do a lot more of that. There's places like that all around in the country and everywhere, which just don't get any airplay, so nobody knows that they're even there. And I'd like to do my bit to try and promote them a little bit, so that people go out and look at them and give them some money to help them keep running, because it's these little places that are storing our heritage and our history. And if they close up, then we lose that sort of stuff. So I'd like to, like I said, help out to try and promote them. So if anybody knows of any little places out and about that would like to have a video done on them, I've got an email address in the description down there. So get in contact and we'll see what we can do. Trips, I'm going to do a trip in July, but it's not my trip. I'm tagging along with somebody else. So I've got nothing to do with the planning, which is a bit difficult for me, because, like I said, I like to be planned out and know exactly what's going on. And I've got nothing to do with this. All I know, it's somewhere north of Perth, and that's the plan. We're going north of Perth. I mean, when I did the South Australian trip, I didn't have a plan for that either. But at least I had an idea of the route I would be taking. I don't even have that with this one. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult for me to come to grips with, but we'll see if we can get some kind of a video out of that and see what happens.
Any final tips or advice for our audience who might be interested in exploring Australia's great outdoors?
Get out there and do it. A lot of people are packing up everything, putting the kids in a van and doing the lap to go and see Australia, and I reckon that's a great idea. I mean, back in 2003, I jammed my family into a caravan, 18-foot caravan, and we went to Queensland for 6 weeks. You want to learn whether you can get along with your family or not, put them in a van for a while and travel around, and you'll either love each other or hate each other. In my case, it worked out well, you know? Yeah, just get out there and go see Australia. There is a lot of things here. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to go and check out other places of the world. We've got amazing stuff here in Australia. So if you've made it this far, then thanks for hanging around. It's been a wild ride building this channel from scratch, and it means a lot to have you along for the journey. The idea of this video came from Pat, so thanks Pat for the work you've done on it. Do you have more questions, something you're curious about? Then drop them in the comments below. I'll read every single one of them. And if there's a trip or campsite you think I should check out, or even a venue somewhere, then let me know about that as well. Now, if you like this video, then make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And tap that bell so that you don't miss out on the next adventure. There is still plenty to come in the future. Thanks again, and I'll see you at the next campsite. Happy travels.